G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I am giving you my 2023 official NRL ladder predictions. So I'm using the official ladder predictor to do this. Obviously, there's still an issue with all the rounds. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you my predictions in three parts. This will be part one. The finals will be part two. So I'll do that completely different. I'll get a template of a finals bracket and we'll do it that way. And then part three of my predictions will be Dally M and award predictions. So let's jump in and get this underway. We're doing this game by game. So it is probably going to be a 20 to 30 minute video. I won't talk on the games too much, but let's jump straight in. So Eels and Storm, I've got the Eels winning this one. I think it'll be fairly close. I'm going Para by 4. Warriors in New Zealand, I think, will win this one quite comfortably. So a good start there for the Warriors. Panthers and Broncos, I think Panthers get this one done easily. I'm tipping Manly to win this one at home. I think it'll be a close one, though, because I think the Bulldogs will be very good this year. Cowboys and Raiders at home, I'm backing the Cowboys. 12 points seems pretty fair. This one, look, I'd love to tip the Rabbitohs. Obviously, they're my team, but I've got to start off with, I think the Sharks win this one at home. I think it'll be a very close game, though. I'm backing the Roosters to beat the Dolphins. 12 points seems pretty fair, though. Tigers and Titans at Leichhardt. You know what? I'm actually going to tip the Tigers in this one. Going to go by 4, so that's round 1 done. After 5 rounds, we'll go after every 6th round, we'll have a look at what the ladder looks like. So then we've got Panthers and Rabbitohs. I'm going Panthers in that one. Eels and Sharks at home. I'm going the Eels in a close one. Tipping the Broncos at Suncorp to win in a pretty close game. Sorry, the wife's just texting me. All right, Roosters and Warriors at home. Roosters win this one convincingly. Back in the Raiders in a close one against the Dolphins. Storm and the Doggies. I'm going to back Storm in that one by 8. Tigers and Knights. I'm tipping the Tigers. 12 points seems fair. And then Dragons in a close one over the Titans. All right, next up, we've got the Seagulls against Para. Backing Manly here by 8. Next up, Knights and Dolphins. I'm going to back the Knights there, an 8-point win as well. Roosters in a close one over the Rabbitohs. I get Allianz Stadium. Roosters may get it done. Titans and Storm. Storm should win this one quite comfortably. Cowboys and Warriors at home. Cowboys should get the job done there. Broncos, I'm going to back in a close one over the Dragons. Doggies get their first win of the year. And Raiders beat the Sharks by 1. All right, round 4. Eels and Panthers. I'm backing Eels to win in a close one there. I think the Eels will start the season off really well, and then I reckon they might start to fall. Now, I haven't done this ladder predictor, so I don't know what I'm going to get, but we'll find out come the end of it. All right, Storm and Tigers. I'm backing Storm in that one. I don't know. I reckon 12 points is enough. I'm going to back the Dolphins to get their first win over the Broncos in a nail-biter. Cowboys over the Titans by 12. Rabbitohs get their first win over Manly. Warriors beat the Doggies by 1. I reckon the Warriors are going to be a good team at home. However, away, I think they will struggle. Knights beat the Raiders in a close game there. I think I've got to go the Sharks to beat the Dragons. All right, next up, Roosters and Eels. I'm going the Roosters to win that one. Raiders, I can see them winning this game, but I am going to back against them and go Penrith. Rabbitohs and Storm. I think the Rabbits can get that one done. I know they don't play all that well against Melbourne, but at a core stadium, I think they get the job done. Seagulls against the Knights. I think Manly win that one convincingly. Dragons and Dolphins. I've got the Dragons winning that one in a close one. Broncos to beat the Tigers at Suncorp. Sharks to beat the Warriors at home. And Doggies, I'm going to beat the Cowboys at home. All right, next up, Storm, I reckon, beat the Roosters by 2. I'm going Doggies on Good Friday to beat the Rabbitohs. And then Cowboys, convincing win over the Dolphins. Panthers, fairly convincing win over Manly. Broncos to beat the Raiders in a tight game. Titans to win this one. I reckon they'll get it done quite easily. Knights in a close one over the Warriors. I'm going Tigers at home to beat Parramatta, at Accor Stadium anyway. Next up, we've got the Dolphins and the Rabbitohs. I'm backing the Rabbitohs here. I think it'll be a 30-point win. Sharks, I reckon we'll get a close win over the Roosters at PointsBet. Seagulls, I think, can beat Storm, but it'll be a close one. Warriors, I'm going to tip an upset here. I'm going to go Warriors by 1. I honestly think that they are going to be really freaking good at home. That's my bold pick this year. I reckon when they get back to New Zealand, they are going to play with their hearts. They're going to go out, and I reckon they're going to win most of their home games. Knights and Panthers, I reckon Panthers win that one convincingly. I'm going Titans in an upset to beat the Broncos. Raiders and Dragons, I'm going Raiders in this one. Eels and Doggies, going the Eels in a close one. Rabbitohs and Panthers. Panthers are our bogey team. I'm going to tip against us in that one. Eels and Broncos, I'm going to back the Eels in that one. We're supposed to look. Okay, after this round, we'll have a look at the ladder. We'll do every 8 rounds. No, I don't know. We'll have a look when I feel like it. Bulldogs against the Sharks. I'm backing the Doggies in a close one. Cowboys to beat the Knights convincingly. Dolphins and Titans. I'm backing the Dolphins to upset the Titans. Going Tigers to upset Manly. Roosters convincing win over the Dragons, and Storm to beat the Warriors quite comfortably. All right, we're up to round 9. What's the ladder looking like? Panthers, Cowboys, Roosters, and Storm. So that top 4 is definitely something that I could see happening. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, Eels, Sharks, Bulldogs, and Seagulls. Definitely could see those 4 teams sneak in there. We've then got the Broncos, Tigers, Rabbitohs, and Raiders. I definitely can see the Rabbitohs having a tough start to the year, but I do think they'll pick it up a bit later on. And then, look, I think this is looking very likely at the moment, so we'll keep it going. Sharks and Cowboys at home. I've got Sharkies winning that one. Eels and Knights. I've got the Eels winning that one quite comfortably. Rabbitohs play quite well at Suncorp normally, so I am going to tip an upset there. Although, is it really an upset? I think Raiders win this one quite comfortably. Seagulls and Titans, I think Manly get the job done there. Panthers should get a pretty good win there. I'm not backing the Warriors in that one. I think Roosters will win, but not convincingly. Dragons and Doggies at win. I reckon Dragons get the job done there. All right. Bulldogs and Raiders. I think Dogs win that one. Seagulls and Broncos. I'm going Manly. Maybe not by that much. 12 seems right. Warriors and Panthers. Panthers win that one. This is all at Suncorp, so this is magic round. I think Panthers win comfortably there. Sharks and Dolphins. I think this one's going to be pretty close, but I am going to tip Cronulla by 4. Rabbitohs at Suncorp play quite well, so I am going to back the Rabbitohs in a close one. Tigers and Dragons, I am going to tip the Tigers by 8. Roosters and Cowboys, I'm going to back the Cowboys at Suncorp to get a win. And then Titans and Eels, I think Eels win that one quite comfortably. All right, next up, Storm and Broncos. I think Storm win that one at Amy. Bulldogs beat the Warriors. 12 is fine. Panthers in a close one over the Roosters, my apologies. Rabbitohs in a close one over the Tigers because the Tigers do push the Rabbitohs. They are another team that we struggle against. Cowboys and Dragons, I think Cowboys win that one easily. Raiders, I'm going to pick the Raiders to beat the Eels in a close one. Knights and Titans, I think Knights win that one. And then I'm backing Manly in a close game at 4 Pines. All right, round 12, Broncos and Panthers. I think Panthers are too good for the Broncos there. Maybe not by that much. We'll go by 8. Dragons and Roosters. I think Roosters win that one comfortably. I think Rabbitohs get a close win there over the Eels. Sharkies beat the Knights comfortably. I'm actually going to go an upset here. I'm going to go the Tigers by 1 at Leichhardt. I think Storm win that one easily. Bulldogs and Titans, I think Doggies get up. I reckon I'll get up quite comfortably there. And Raiders by 1 over Manly. All right, round 13. So after this round, we're about at the halfway point, so we'll have another look at the ladder. So I'm going to back the Dolphins to beat the Dragons at home. Eels to beat the Cowboys in a close one. Warriors and Broncos. I'm going to tip the Warriors there. I reckon Warriors can get that done. Rabbitohs in a close one over the Raiders. And I'm going Manly to beat the Knights. So we look at the ladder. We've got the Panthers heavy favourites, sitting number 1 with only 1 loss, 22 points. Roosters, Storm, Bulldogs, Sea Eagles, Eels, Sharks, and Rabbitohs all on 16 points. That's crazy. So from second to ninth, by the look of that, I hate, because this is all messed up, it's stuffed all this up. So Panthers first, Roosters second, Storm third, Bulldogs fourth, Seagulls fifth, Eels sixth, Sharks seventh, Rabbitohs eighth. So Cowboys, Tigers in the hunt still, definitely. Broncos, Warriors, Knights all sort of falling down the ladder. So I do apologise, Broncos fans, but at this point in time, I do not see you guys up around that conversation for the top 8. But you never know. We'll keep it going. Tigers and Raiders. I've got the Tigers at Campbelltown winning in a close one. Warriors, I reckon, can beat the Dolphins comfortably at home. I'm going to tip an upset here. I'm backing the Titans in that one. Sharkies should beat the Broncos quite comfortably. We'll go 12. Roosters over the Bulldogs. Cowboys, I reckon, in a close one over Storm, and Panthers to continue their dominance over the Dragons. Now, I have forgotten there is some Origin games in the middle here, so I do apologise about that. I don't know. I'm assuming that'd be 1. So, yeah, I still agree with that. I still think the Rabbitohs can win that. I do. I think that's fine. Let me just see the next Origin. Okay, so the next one will be further down. So this will be the next Origin game. So we got round 15 to put in. We'll do that. I think Titans beat Tigers here. So kind of an upset, but I see it happening. Raiders beat the Warriors. I've got Manly doing really well on my ladder. That's crazy. I'm going to back Dragons in an upset over the Rabbitohs. Dragons tend to turn up against Souths. Broncos, massive win over the Knights. Roosters, I'm going to say beat the Panthers. Storm over the Sharks by 8. And Bulldogs by 4 over the Eels. All right, so this is the next Origin games. So Cowboys and Panthers. Panthers will be missing way too much. I'm going to go the Cowboys in that one. While I think the Roosters will be missing a lot of players, I still think they get the job done. Eels and Sea Eagles. I think that no, I'm going to back Para. I think Para will still have enough to get the job done. Storm will have too many players out. Their whole spine will pretty much be out. I'm backing the Tigers in a close one. Sharks and Bulldogs. Depending on who plays, I think the Sharks have the upper hand here. I think they'll have less players out for Origin duties. For the Bulldogs, you'll have like Matt Burton, Josh Addo-Carr. There'll be a few players out, probably Reed Marnie potentially, depending on injuries. So I think Sharkies will probably win that one. We move on to round 17. Dragons and Warriors. I think Dragons get the win there. I'm going to go the Eels in that one. I'm going to go by 8. I think Panthers absolutely destroy the Knights. Storm and Manly. I'm going to go Storm by 2. Broncos, I think, will win that one quite comfortably. I'm going to go Rabbitohs in a close one over the Cowboys. And rounding up this round, I'm going Roosters by 24 over the Raiders. All right. We'll do 2 more rounds and then we'll have a look at the ladder. Sharks and Dragons. I think Sharks win that one. I think Rabbitohs win this, but I think it'll be a close game. Honestly, the Mount Smart games, the games in New Zealand will be tough, I reckon. This isn't another Origin. No. I'm going Storm in a close game over the Panthers. I think they can get it done. Raiders and Titans. I think Raiders win that one. I think Tigers lose to the Cowboys in this one. I've got Broncos winning comfortably over the Dolphins. Bulldogs getting the win there over the Knights. And Sea Eagles. No, I've got Roosters winning this one. All right. So this is the next Origin game. I reckon it all depends on who's out. Apso Coruscant will probably be out for the Tigers. So actually, I do see the Sharks winning that one. Dragons and Raiders. Ben Hunt will be out, so I do think the Raiders get the win there. Depending, Jack Whiten's probably going to be out as well, but I still think Raiders win that one. Eels and Warriors at CommBank, regardless, I think the Eels will win that. I think this one's going to be very close. Obviously, you'll have Cam Murray out. That might be it for the Bunnies. Maybe like a Keon Koloamatangi, probably Latrell Mitchell as well. The Bulldogs will have a few out also. I think the Rabbitohs win this one, but I think it'll be very close. Titans and Dolphins. I've got Titans winning that one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, let's have a look at the ladder. So Panthers and Roosters tied up at first on 28 points. The only thing separating them is for and against. Sharks comfortably there in third at the moment. Storm, Eels, Rabbitohs all on 24. 22 points to the Cowboys, Bulldogs, and Manly. So the top 8 at the moment is Panthers, Roosters, Sharks, Storm, Eels, Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Bulldogs. Manly, Raiders, and Tigers are all fighting for a spot in the 8. The Broncos may miss out. So let's continue. Knights and Tigers. I think Tigers win in a close one there. I reckon we've got the Bulldogs over the Broncos at Belmore. I'm going Manly in a close one over the Cowboys. Roosters and Storm. I think Roosters win that one. It'll be close though. Warriors against the Sharks at home. I think it'll be close, but I do think the Warriors can win these games. Dolphins and Panthers. Panthers put the foot down, get a good win there. Eels, another big win over the Titans. All right. Dragons and Tigers. I've got Tigers winning that one. I think it'll be about that 12-point margin. I've got Warriors winning this one. I think they'll win that one by 8. Rabbitohs and Broncos at Sunshine Coast. I think Rabbitohs win that one comfortably. Titans and Roosters. I've got Roosters winning that one by 30. I've got Storm winning this one by about 38. Cowboys and Eels at home. I think Cowboys get the job done. Panthers beat the Bulldogs by 18. And Sharks beat Manly. I'm happy with the 12-point win there. All right, next up, we've got Broncos and Roosters at the Gabba. This one will be interesting, but I've got Broncos winning by 1. That's an upset in my eyes. I think Broncos win that one by 1. I'm backing the Tigers to upset the Rabbitohs there. Storm and Eels. I'm going to go Storm by 8. Raiders and Knights. I think Raiders absolutely kill them. Dragons and Manly. I think at home, Dragons get the win there. Panthers get a good win over Cronulla. Doggies get a good win over the Dolphins. And I think the Cowboys will win this one, so I'm going Cowboys by 18. All right, next up, Roosters and Sea Eagles. Roosters, I reckon, will win that one. 18. I don't think they'll flog them, but I do think they'll get a convincing win. Titans at home, I reckon, get a good, close game, but a good win. Panthers beats, no, not by that much. Panthers beat Storm. Cowboys at home beat the Broncos. Going Dolphins by a point over the Knights. We'll go 2. That's at Perth. Wow, okay. Doubleheader at Perth there, I guess. Rabbitohs and Sharks. I think Rabbitohs win that one in Perth. Eels and Dragons. Eels win that one convincingly, and I'm going Raiders by 2 over the Tigers. Round 24, we see the Seagulls against the Panthers. At home, I'm backing Manly in a close one. I think the Panthers will lose a few games this year. I don't think they'll be as dominant as they were in 2022. Sharks and Titans, I think Sharks win that one comfortably. I reckon the Broncos will win a few games here at the Gabba, so I'm tipping the Broncos to beat the Eels. Rabbitohs against the Dragons. I'm backing Souths. I think this one will be a big win at Barlow Park. Rabbitohs turn it up in Cairns. Waikato Stadium, I reckon the Warriors beat the Tigers here. Roosters absolutely flog the Dolphins. Storm and Raiders at home, I think Storm get an 18-point win. And Bulldogs absolutely destroy the Knights. All right, round 25, Cowboys and Sharks at home. Go on the Cowboys. Warriors and Seagulls at home. I'm backing the Warriors. Eels and Roosters at home. I'm backing Para in a really close game. Tigers beat the Dolphins by 18. Panthers put 48 points on the Titans. I'm backing Storm by 18 to beat the Dragons. Rabbitohs by 38 to beat the Knights. And Raiders and Bulldogs. I'm going to back the Bulldogs in a close game over the Doggies. All right, we're up to the second last round. I reckon Panthers beat Eels to lock in the minor premiership once again. Maybe not by 24, though. Warriors, I reckon, will have a good win here over the Dragons. Dolphins, I don't see beating the Cowboys at Suncorp. Storm and Titans, I think Storm win that one. Roosters, convincing win over the Tigers. Raiders, I think, will get a good win over the Broncos. We'll go by 12. Bulldogs by 8 over the Sea Eagles. And finally, Sharkies by 18 over the Knights. So up to the final round, guys. The ladder looks like this. Panthers in first on 40 points. Roosters in second on 38. Storm in third on 34. Rabbitohs in fourth on 34. Sharks in fifth, my apologies, on 34 as well. So there's a three-way tie there for third. It'll just be for and against deciding that. Cowboys are sixth on 32 points. Bulldogs seventh on 30. And Eels eighth on 30 points. The Raiders are also on 30 and can make the finals. Tigers could potentially make the finals, but would need a lot to go their way. Manly are out. Broncos are out. Warriors gone. Titans, Dragons gone. Knights are out and potentially could avoid the spoon. So I actually had them as my favourites to win the spoon. Maybe not. All right, so Broncos and Storm at home. I think Broncos get a win. Bit disappointing that it happens this late in the season, but Broncos will miss the top 8. That is my prediction so far. Seagulls and Tigers at home. I think Manly get a 24-point win over the Tigers. I think Rabbitohs win in a close one over the Roosters. We saw the opposite happen this year, but last year. I think it'll be a Rabbitohs win there at Accor Stadium, beating the Roosters in a close one. I think Dolphins will get the win here. It'll be a close one, though. Panthers and Cowboys, I think Panthers absolutely... Panthers will win it, but I don't think they'll win it comfortably. I think it'll be a fairly close game. I've got Dragons winning this one by 24. Titans and Bulldogs. I think Bulldogs lock in their top 8 spot with a good win over the Titans. And I've got the Sharkies beating the Raiders by 18. So my official top 8 for 2023, guys, is Panthers first, 19 wins, 5 losses, 42 points, 341 point differential. Roosters second, 38 points, 17 wins, 7 losses, 289 point differential. Rabbitohs third, 36 points, 16 wins, 8 losses, 135 point differential. Sharks fourth, 36 points, 16 wins, 8 losses, 97-point differential. Melbourne Storm, 4th, 34 points, 15 wins, 9 losses, 180-point differential. Cowboys, 6th, 32 points, 15 wins, 9 losses, 174-point differential. I don't know why that's done that. That's annoyed me. Have I missed a game somewhere? I don't know. This ladder is just all out of whack. I don't understand why they're on 32. But regardless, even if they were on 34, they'd still be down here. We've got 14 wins, 10 losses, 32 points for the Bulldogs, 119-point differential. Same thing with the Eels. They've got 30 points, 14 wins. So they'd be on the same points as the Dogs and the Dogs, but point differential would have them in 8th. So Raiders just missed the top 8. Seagulls also just missed the top 8. They were only 1 win away, or technically 2. Tigers were only a few wins out of the top 8 as well, so that's crazy to see. Broncos regress a little bit. I just think there's a lot of issues going on there that need to get resolved. So I do apologise, Broncos fans. You guys might think that you'd win a few more games. Your point differential is pretty good in comparison to the Tigers. But yeah, I just don't see you guys making the 8 this year, unfortunately. Warriors, I'd say an improved season, but still falling off a bit. Dragons definitely regressed. Titans also struggled this year. And the Dolphins and the Knights fight for the wooden spoon. So they are my predictions this year, guys. That is part 1. I will see you in part 2 when I put together the finals bracket. So stay tuned for that. But that is going to wrap it up from me, though, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I do apologize if you do disagree with this or I hurt some of your feelings. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, these are my predictions and my opinion. So you're welcome to yours. Let me know what you changed down below in the comments. Have a go at the ladder predictor. Let me know what yours is in the comments below. Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support so far in 2023. The podcast has been going off, so I thank you so much for that. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.